What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Bryce, and today I'm going to read in chapter 13 of the Parker Inheritance. Let's begin. Chapter 13. By the time Candace got home, Brandon had already disappeared into his house. He knew that what happened with Milo wasn't her fault, but her heart didn't quite agree. She wanted to walk over and see him. She wanted to apologize. She wanted to see if he had hurt himself when he fell, even though she was pretty sure he hadn't. And if she was being totally honest with herself, which she wasn't, she wanted to use Brandon's computer to watch the DVD on Enoch Washington and look up James Parker. At the same time, she felt a little unsure about what Milo had said about Brandon. Did she really like boys instead of girls? It wasn't a big deal. A few of the kids in her neighborhood had gay parents, and there were 2 gay teachers at her school. But she didn't really know anyone who was gay. Inside her own house, she started at the clock wondering when it would be appropriate for her to knock on Brandon's door. Then a red extended cab pickup truck pulled into her driveway, and she rushed outside. "Candy!" Her father scooped Candace up into a bear hug as soon as he stepped out of the truck. His graying stubble tickled her cheek. You can't tickle a cheek. Candace took a deep breath. He smelled like he always did, like laundry detergent, but she could also make out the traces of a new cologne. It was strong and citrusy, like a cartoon of Valencia oranges. The scent was familiar, but she couldn't quite place it. After he put her down, he opened the back door and pulled a small bag from the cab. "So what do you think of Lambert?" he asked. "Ugh, that bad, huh? Any other kids around?" "A few." Candace looked across the street. Brandon's mother and grandfather sat on the porch and waved. Candace and her father waved back. "Who lives over there?" he asked. "My friend Brandon and his family. He's nice, a big-time reader." "You two hang out a lot?" Candace had already decided not to tell her father about the letter. She didn't want a lecture from him, too. We went to a memorial today. Actually, it was more like a museum. It was really cool." He scratched his beard. "That sounds like a date." She wrinkled her nose. "Dad, she's 11. That's like, no." Okay, good." He patted her shoulder. "I guess we should head inside." Her mother opened the door for them. "Hello, Joe." "Hey, Ann." He gave her a light hug. "Sure you don't want me to get a room somewhere?" "It's fine," her mother said. They moved inside. "How's the house?" "Going well. Dan's crew is almost finished in the bathrooms. He got some other guys coming out next week to work on the grading in the backyard." And then are they on schedule or not?" her mother asked. Her father nodded. "They'll be finished in 4 weeks. At least he's cheap and fast." She took a step backward into the kitchen. "I'm gonna start dinner. Y'all stay here. Catch up." 4 weeks. Candace told herself she had 4 weeks. Her father sat down on the couch and then frowned. You might be more comfortable in a hotel," Candace said, sitting beside him. The couch doesn't fold out and pretty lumpy. "I'll make do. I want to be here in the morning when you wake up. Gonna make my special pancakes." He looked around the living room and took a deep breath. "My goodness, it smells like her, doesn't it? Your grandma. How's that possible after all these years?" Me and Mom were thinking the same thing. "Is she okay being here? It took her a long time to get over your grandma's death." For a few months after the funeral, when Candace woke up in the middle of the night for a drink of water, she would see her mother sitting in the guest bedroom, the room her grandma always slept in when she visited. Grandma lived and worked on the outskirts of Atlanta, but she would stay with them at least one weekend every month. Candace could still smell the lavender in that room. Not coincidentally, her father would always find a construction site outside the city to inspect whenever her grandmother came to visit. "So the house," she said. 4 weeks. He ran his hand along the cushions. "Yeah, maybe a little longer. But don't tell your mom." He looked toward the kitchen. "Is she really okay?" Candace sighed. She wanted to talk about the house, not her mom. Her writing was going kind of slow at first, but she's making better progress now. Good. He fiddled with the thumbnail. Is she dating? Is she dating? Her father's fingers were plain now, like her mother's. Candace didn't know what they had done with their rings. To be clear, I'm not asking because I want to get back with your mother, he added. I know, Dad. It's just I don't know if I should be sharing this with you. She shifted in her seat, but no, I don't think she's seeing anyone. I want her to be happy. I want you both to be happy, to be cared for. He nudged his daughter. You are happy, aren't you? I'm not sad. There are worse places than Lambert. She waited for her father to offer her to let her stay with him, but he just said, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to the guys. See if I can get them to speed up. Try to get you home before the end of the month. Candace would have liked nothing better than that, but that meant she was running out of time to solve the mystery. Did you bring your work laptop? The one with the data plan? Let me guess. Your mom's gone without Wi-Fi again. He stood to get his bag. What do you need it for? Want to get online? Not a lie, technically. He handed her the laptop. You know the password. Don't go downloading anything suspicious. Do you have your phone cable as well? After he nodded, Candace pulled the iPod from her pocket. I want to download some new games and maybe even some more music, she smiled. You know something from this decade. Ouch, he said, placing his hand over his heart. Ouch. At least now I know where my iPod went. Technically, it hadn't went anywhere. Candace wanted to say he just abandoned it when he moved out. How can somebody went anywhere? Come on. He handed her the cable, then watched as the iPod synced with his laptop. He pointed at the screen. Why don't you play our song? Candace clicked on September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was one of his favorites. Remember 21st night, September. Her dad nodded to the beat as music filled the room. He kind of reminded Candace of a bobblehead doll. Don't give me that look, he said. You used to love this song too. Probably knew the words before you learned your ABCs. He rose up and began to dance, shuffling across the carpet and waving his arms. Candace grinned. Your dancing hasn't improved. Wait until you hear my singing. Dad, don't. He winked as he stretched out his arms to her and began singing. Do you remember? Candace, now full out laughing, leaped from the couch. As cheesy as all this was, she loved it. She missed it. Her father scooped her up and dipped her, then spun her around. Yeah. Scoop up, dip. Yeah. Spin her around. You know you're not going to be able to dance with me forever, Candace said as she tried to match her father's moves. Eventually, I'll be too big. He took her hands and swirled her again. Candy, don't you know? You'll never be too big to dance with your father. And that was chapter 13. So tomorrow I'll be reading chapter 14, and that's about it. Peace out.